coming at y'all with another video. Ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. I'm gonna get right into it. Last video I made, or the one before that, was a video about the Spokane County Sheriff's Department expressing their views on the bullshit that they put in place for these gun bans. Now what you're looking at on screen is Teller County, which is located in Colorado. You got a sheriff and a couple of his deputies that's on here about to talk to you about some things that they dealing with in regards to some gun bans and all other foolishness in Colorado. Now, I want you all to listen to these guys and what it is that they're about to say. Because again, like I told y'all, this right here is one of the reasons why I can't be on here making 5-10 videos a day, doing 8-hour live streams, and I can't do it, man. It's too much shit going on for me to have to do that. So I want y'all to listen to them, man, and you know how we're going to do. I'll break in and out every now and again and give my commentary and all this other stuff, but I want you all to listen to them. Because, see, what you all have to understand, if you got motherfuckers who carry a badge and a gun coming out telling you this, I mean, what more do you need to say? Why would I have to make 4-5 videos a day? You see what I'm saying? Why would I have to do an 8 or a 9-hour live stream? If I could do what I'm doing right here now with this little miniature video that I'm making and be like, hey, y'all, listen to this. Listen to what these motherfucking sheriffs and shit is saying. This is crazy. Listen to this. After you hear what they have to say, why would you need me to make a 9-hour video or live stream? You know what I'm saying? Why would you need me to make 4, 5, 10, 12 different videos in one day? Why the fuck would you need that? Anyway, listen to this.
Hi, Teller County. I hope all is well today and wherever you might find yourself. We did want to sit down and talk about the newest gun bill, which I will say, after you read this book, it's about 18 pages of nonsense that I've had to read here shortly, and they keep putting amendments on it. So we're going to have a little discussion point on 25003, and it's titled it's the Bill for an Act Concerning Prohibitive Activity Involving Semi-Automatic Firearms in Connection therewith Prohibiting the Manufacture, Distribution, Transfer, Sale, and Purchasing of Specific Semi-Automatic Firearms, and classifying a device that increases the rate of fire of a semi-automatic firearm as a dangerous weapon. All that being said, what it basically says is that they're going to stop you from having any type of, or transferring, or new purchases of any type of semi-automatic firearms throughout the state of Colorado. So I wanted to bring Sven in. Sven is our resident expert on firearms. He's a firearms dealer and has all kinds of information for you about this bill. But one of the biggest things that has occurred in this is that they want sheriffs to be more involved, and they want sheriffs to give you a license. So basically they want me to license you to carry on with your Second Amendment. And we just think it's disgusting to have to do so. The other part of it.
Now, if you go back to any of those movies and stuff from back in the day where they were dealing with sheriffs, like, you know, you take a movie like Tombstone, or you take a TV show like The Rifleman or Bonanza or something like that, them was the motherfuckers that was upholding your constitutional rights to be able to bear arms. And many of those movies where it has sheriffs and TV shows that have sheriffs, they literally would utter off a phrase of, it's his right to be able to have a gun. And a lot of those movies, go back and watch some of those old-ass Clint Eastwood westerns, some of them old-ass John Wayne westerns and shit. You would literally hear a sheriff in that county tell motherfuckers that you can't take his firearm from him. But yeah, here it is. He's saying that they want them to get more involved in the bullshit that they doing to the people. And it's just like I told y'all in the video that I did last time about Spokane County sheriffs. The sheriffs and the marshals are the only real motherfuckers when it come down to law enforcement. They the only ones. This is the reason for why you supposed to piss on the fucking sheriff's department when they out there fucking over the people like how you see policy officers doing. You supposed to go after them. Same thing with the U.S. Marshal, man. Any motherfucker in the U.S. Marshal's office acting a motherfucking fool and doing the stupid shit that a lot of law policy officers do within these cities and suburbs, you supposed to go after the Marshal's office for that. That shit is 10,000% illegal. We hold the U.S. Marshals and the the Sheriff's Department, we hold them to a higher plateau because they are in the Constitution. So in other words, what I'm saying is, yeah, I got respect for the Sheriff's Department, a whole hell of a lot more respect for the Sheriff's Department than I do the FBI. The FBI is not in the fucking Constitution. I have a whole lot more motherfucking respect for the United States Marshals Department than I do the fucking CIA. The CIA is not in the fucking Constitution.
It takes away your right for any semi-automatic handgun that's on the market except for a 22 pistol. Now, here's the issue with that. That means heirlooms. That means things that have been passed down through generations that maybe at some point you've decided you want to sell to someone else, or those investments that you've made for all these years, instead of buying gold and silver and putting it in the stock market, you put it in firearms because you thought that that was a better investment. Those now go away.
I've never heard a motherfucker with a gun and badge say that. Did you hear that? Wow. He's one of the first motherfuckers with a badge and a gun I ever heard say some shit like, yeah, man, I motherfucker buy firearms as an investment. What? Like, man, that's... man, that shit there, that's deep. And like I said, if you got a person like this who's the sheriff of, what they say, Taylor County, if you got a sheriff coming out telling you this, man, I mean, goddamn, what more can I say? What more can I say if you got a sheriff telling you this?
It's illegal for you to sell it anywhere within the state, which also means it'll flood the market outside the state, and it's going to be harder then to purchase any of these items or get any of these items. And actually, I don't know that you can. So, Sven, you want to talk a little bit about it?
I think when I read the 18 pages of this bill, what some of the things that really have stood out to me. One in particular, this is just another effective way of creating a registry within the state. And what I mean by that, this bill specifically allows...
Did you hear that? Motherfuckers who carry badges and guns telling you that they're creating a registry, a backdoor registry. This is no longer the original Lone Wolf's rhetoric. This is no longer just me or any other content creator getting on here telling you this. This is no longer just us over here ranting and raving. It's the truth. And he gonna even tell you why they doing it. Here it is, you're gonna have a motherfucker in law enforcement, as they call it, gonna tell you that the point of it is so they can come back and take them later. Now you got a motherfucker who carry a badge and a gun that's telling you this. You know why? Because they gonna send other motherfuckers with badges and guns to take them. And you think I'm gonna be on here making 4-5 motherfucking videos a day, a week, and all? You crazy. I love y'all, man. And I'm talking to my YouTube subscribers right now. I love y'all. But it's nowhere in hell I'm finna dedicate that much time and energy to making 9-hour live streams on here when you got all this kind of shit going on. I have to budget my energy. Meaning it has to be sectioned off and applied in areas that's beneficial so I don't waste that energy. It's just that simple, guys.
To state, to require what they are referring to as an eligibility card. The only way you're going to be able to get that card is if you submit to your local sheriff fingerprints, application, fees associated with that, and have a criminal background check completed to determine, one, if you're eligible to purchase a firearm, and it's solely up to the sheriff to make that determination.
So you do know that Colorado will be the 5th state in America. The 5th state in America to do this stupid shit. This be the reason for why, like how I said, yeah, I'll leave the state or get with some motherfuckers for the purpose of being with like-minded people. But I don't think moving from state to state is really going to change anything. They're just coming to a state near you. Now, I will acknowledge the fact that it is a little bit harder for people who can constitutional carry and that don't have all of the mechanisms in place like states like Illinois and Colorado do. It does make it a little bit easier for them, but they're attacking them too. They got a couple of bills on the floor in Arizona that they trying to push through. That's on the same shit as what Colorado trying to do. And there's a couple of other states that's like Arizona where they doing the same shit, right? Like how I told y'all, the shit that happened in New Mexico. Remember the New Mexico governor tried to suspend people open carry rights and shit for a couple of days or some old bullshit excuse she gave? Remember how the people reacted in New Mexico? Like I told y'all, that was a pilot. That was a test run to see how the people in the states that don't have to put up with this kind of shit, to see how they will respond. And the citizens of New Mexico, they responded appropriately. When the New Mexico governor tried to pull that bullshit, the way the citizens responded, that was a clear-cut example of you gonna fuck around and find out.
Once you actually receive this eligibility card, it is only good for 5 years. When 5 years expire, you have to go through the entire process again. What happens is, once you get the eligibility card, at that point you can now sign up for either hunter safety education, either a basic firearm safety course or an extended firearm safety course, all of which has to be completed before you're even allowed to make a purchase of a firearm. What I find very interesting in this bill is they don't necessarily provide a list of what is illegal and what is necessarily not legal. What the bill has described are 3 different types of semi-automatic weaponry: rifles, shotguns, and pistols, all of which that can have a detachable magazine. What bothers me is they do put a list here of 35 weapons in the bill that are actually in fact excluded from the bill. Most of which are semi-automatic weapons that use a detachable magazine and that are gas-operated systems, which goes against the whole purpose of the bill on banning these particular firearms unless the state has found you eligible to make that purchase. This really more or less forces the sheriff now to have to report to a governing body that actually will maintain this registry and those that are actually eligible to make these purchases. And
well, actually, I gotta excuse me, I gotta stop him there. I have to interject on that. Actually, he doesn't have to do a fucking thing. All right? This is going back to the whole Constitution. Sheriff's departments are not supposed to follow unlawful orders. Period. Period. Periods. So that's not true, sir. You don't have to report a fucking thing. It's just that simple. You want to know why? Because when you fucking over my rights like this, I'm supposed to come and get you. We back to the fucking TV shows. The Western TV shows, the Western movies and shit. We back to that again. How many motherfucking TV shows you done seen or Western movies you done seen where some shit got out of line or motherfuckers were trying to do some shit they ain't had no business doing? What was the first thing they did? They went and got the sheriff. And usually because the sheriff done had his whole brigade and this whole entourage behind him, usually the sheriff didn't fuck around. You either stop fucking around and we gonna fuck you up. In the TV shows and the movies, he deputized a motherfucker in a minute. Oh, you think you gonna swallow me up, my nigga? You think you just gonna outnumber me? That nigga went around and got some of the cold hardest hitters in the town and deputized the motherfuckers. This is the way it's supposed to be done. Whatever powers don't lie in the state lies in the people. This is the reason for why the fucking sheriff went around deputizing people. God damn, man, do you not see it? Motherfuckers should be going out buying motherfucking bangers on general principle alone.
monies that go towards the fees that actually get looped back into the treasury, they're discretionary funds. The state can use them for whatever they want to use them. It doesn't go to anything beneficial. It doesn't do anything to help anybody in the state as a citizen. All it does is forces you to have to purchase your rights from the state, which you've been given to under the founders and the Constitution of this country.
And that same state has a DUN number and an EIN number. This is what we getting at. When you keep hearing people like myself and many others, they're a corporation masquerading as a government. We can go to Dun and Bradstreet's website right now in this video, and we can pull up all kind of motherfucking DUNS numbers for the state of Colorado. All kinds. Every sector of the state of Colorado has a DUNS number. You know, Colorado state of this, Colorado state of this, like, you know, the Colorado Department of Transportation, the Colorado Board of Education, or whatever you can fucking name that has Colorado in the title. They all got fucking DUNS numbers, man. I'm not finna do it in this video, but somebody challenged me. Somebody go to Google and type in Dun and Bradstreet search. And then when you get that hit and it'll come up, click on it and start playing around in the search engine, man. The state of Colorado. And play around with it and watch and see how many fucking hits you get. You can't be on Dun and Bradstreet without an EIN number. Hello. Those are the two things that signify you're a corporation. Hence the term corporations masquerading as government. That's where that term comes from. To you, it looked like government, but in reality, they are fucking business. And I get tired of talking about this too. That's another reason why I can't get on here and make 20,000 videos a day. Go back and watch some of my older videos. Y'all should be doing that anyway. I done told y'all that a million fucking times. I should have as many views as subscribers. I should have as many likes as subscribers. I done said that shit a million times. Go back and watch the older fucking videos, man. You can put this shit together. I done laid it out for you. This is why my channel struggle the way that it do, because I go against everything. And I don't just pick and choose.
It's a shame. It's shenanigans.
It's shenanigans. And here's the thing is, we in no way endorse this bill whatsoever. I don't know that, I know the Sheriff's Association has taken a stance on this bill to say no. I know that the commissioners in the state have said no. You know, this is another...
Now, this is another state, people, that has came with sheriffs that have came out and said this. Keep in mind, when Illinois first did what they did, 95% of the sheriffs in the state was like, y'all got us fucked up. We're not honoring this. Which is the reason for why they're trying to make legislation now to get rid of sheriffs. Sheriffs who don't want to comply with this, which is completely unfucking constitutional. And you want to know why? Because if the sheriff ain't going to enforce it, you got a problem. You have a real fucking problem.
This identifies even more of the runaway train that our legislative body has become. If they really wanted to do something like this and do it right, it should go to the voters. It should not be sitting in a legislative office. The other thing is they didn't identify how much this was going to cost the state and all the sheriffs when they sent this through. The state's already in a 700 or 100,
1.3 billion.
Yeah, $1.3 billion dollars in debt as it is. What they don't tell you on this bill is that it's going to cost you as taxpayers to have to fund this thing, because I'm going to need at least 10 more people to deal with this. So we're looking at a minimum of another $500,000 to an unfunded mandate that the state's going to push forward. You know, and the bill producers on this one has just left.
So we got 3 words that they're using that's porn words. You got bill, you got mandate, and you got land, air, and water. You might know of it as law. Okay? You might know of it as law. I call it land, air, and water, which is what they control. But you just may call it law, right? Those are the 3 words we're dealing with. We're dealing with law, we're dealing with bill, and we're dealing with mandate. Do you see the fucking verbal porn? Do you not? And y'all wonder why I just be like, you know what? Just get the fuck on. I don't want to hear this shit. And this is usually how I am in real life. In real life, I don't even argue with you. I don't even deal with you. I just, okay, whatever, and I'll walk away. I'm not giving you the fucking energy. You're dealing with law, bills, and fucking mandates. This is the reason for why I go against everything. Like y'all know me, I go against motherfucking YouTube content creators that's talking about discharging debt, especially the ones with massive thousands and tens of thousands of followers, because they never tell you that this shit is fraud. Or they'll touch on it, they'll just poke at it, and they'll go right back to talking about what it is that they're talking about. You have to be careful of people like that. It's no different in the fact when you're not willing to talk about melanated people and how they just as much the fucking problem as a fake Jew. You got to be careful with that. Because the idea is to address it all, or as much as humanly possible. But the one thing you're not supposed to do is, if it's brought up in a conversation, you downplay it and go right back to talking about what you was talking about. You're not supposed to do that. And most motherfuckers do. Whether if it's in the historical community or whether if it's in the discharge of that community or whatever, the real issues, the real shit that a motherfucker's supposed to talk about, they'll either downplay it and go on about what it was they was talking about, or they'll just poke at that very topic and they'll move on. Be careful of men and women that are like this. Because at the end of the day, all of this shit needs to be addressed. Period. Which is the reason for why y'all heard me tell y'all, whatever motherfuckers ain't addressing on their channel, I address on mine. This is the reason for why I keep pushing and pumping the fact that niggas ain't shit. And I'm talking about melanated people. Melanated people have always been the fucking problem since the very inceptions of the problems that have been filtered down to the issues you see today. Melanated people are at the top of that. And I'm one of the only fucking people on my channel who push this. You know why? Because I'm trying to cover everything. We know about the fake Jew. We know about Zionists and all that. We know about that. What we don't know about is the niggas, right? We know about how they're enslaving us with the system. You know, like debt, debt and bills and all this other shit. We know how they're enslaving us with the system, right? What motherfuckers are not having forced down their throat is that it's fraud. Fraud is a big deal. Just like knowing that melanated people has been at the forefront of this shit for God knows since its inception. That's a big ass deal too. Because this victim shit appears to be working. And these niggas are not victims. I done told y'all that a million times. What along with told y'all? They not victims, they cheerleaders. That's a big difference.
The legislative body because she's in trouble for some other issues. So this is wrote by people that really don't care about what you think, that only care about what their selfish mechanisms are. And unfortunately for that, it's hard, but it is destroying this country and the state. What I don't understand is why we can't think of these things by common sense means. I get it if they want to say no fully automatic machine guns, right? But that's already in state law, so why are we worried about it? And the other side of it too is what this bill does is it creates way more gun owners now to be criminals because people are not going to turn these weapons in. They're not going to, because that'll be the next step.
Now, damn it, he actually said what I was talking about earlier, so we'll go back. But what you have to understand is fully automatic guns should not be banned. They should not be illegal. Anytime you have a situation where one group is allowed to have it where another group is not, that puts them on a higher plane. And it's never supposed to be that way. Men and women are equal when it comes down to certain things, right? And I'm talking about within groups. Here it is, you got a group over here that's called the military, whatever. Within the military, you got men and women who are in the military, and they're allowed to have fully automatic weaponry, right? Where the men and women over here, i.e. the civilians, are not allowed to have that. It's like, no, in a situation like that, we are equal. And that type of a scenario, we're equal. There's no way in hell this group of men and women over here can have access to this shit, but the group of men and women over here cannot. No. That's not how that's supposed to fucking go. And to prove that point, look at what the military do. I keep trying to tell you motherfuckers, it was never about serving your goddamn country. I even had a white boy on one of the channels I subscribed to, Southern Prepper One, I think is the name of his channel. A white boy who said he spent his career in the military. He came out and admitted it. Now, mind you, he up there in age. He probably a little older than me. And he admitted it. He's like, yeah, man, I thought I was serving my country and this, that, and the other. But in reality, what we were doing, we was the arm for this business, for this cabal that we dealing with today. We were their arm. And he was right. And he's one of the few military ex-veterans that I've ever heard had the balls to say that that's really what it was. But that's what it is. So this is the reason for there's nowhere in hell that one group over here should be able to hide automatic weapons or the other group over here can't. Look at the group that can have them. Look at what they've been doing. Look at what they've been doing around the fucking world. But you're going to tell me that it's okay for them to have it and not me? I think not. But anyway, let's go back about 15 seconds to a very crucial point that I wanted to make out.
No fully automatic machine guns, right? But that's already in state law, so why are we worried about it? And the other side of it too is what this bill does is it creates way more gun owners now to be criminals because people are not going to turn these weapons in. They're not going to, because that'll be the next step. It'll be to create some form of identification of who you are. And then at some point, the state is going to push more issues through this legislative body that says that we're going to take all those firearms away. Mark my words, that's really what they're after. And I hate as a sheriff to have to.
Now y'all see why I'm not finna be on here making 15 videos a month, 20 videos a week. Now y'all see why now? I don't give a fuck if you don't agree. I just want you to see why I'm not finna do it. Did you hear what he just said? That's the fucking sheriff. He just told you the sole purpose is so they could take them from you in the end, man. He just told you. He just told you they gonna send a motherfucker like him, meaning, you know, a person with a gun and a badge in a squad car. They gonna send a person like him to come take them. That's the end game. Here it is, the people that they're gonna use to do this. One of them just told you that this is what they're gonna do. And you think I'm finna be on here every day making 6, 7, 8 videos a day? I be looking at motherfuckers with 5-hour live streams, and I just say, hey man, that's your channel. You a content creator. You do what you want to do. I take my hat off to you though, because I ain't gonna do it. I will tip my hat, my friend, because I ain't making no 9-hour motherfucking live stream. You got me fucked up. I ain't doing it, and I ain't making 4, 5 fucking videos a day. Not when you got this kind of shit going on. When you got a motherfucker that's supposed to be in law enforcement, he just told you what they really trying to do. They really just trying to take the fucking guns from you. They don't want you to have them. They don't want anybody to have them but them. So they can line your ass up against a wall, motherfucking Germany Nazi style, and blow your shit down. And you think I'm going to be making 4, 5 videos a day? I'm not getting on here making 4, 5 videos a day. I'm not reading to nobody. I'm not asking for donations. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm going to be the true prophet. And that is, I'm just coming to give you this information. And when you look back, I'll be like Batman. When you look back, I'll be gone. You know how Batman be? He show up, talk to a motherfucker, be having a conversation. Next thing you know, a motherfucker look around, this nigga gone. It's like, damn, nigga, what the fuck? That's me. I'm going to be that true prophet. I'm going to come to you and say, this is what the fuck is going on, and I'm out of here.
Say that, but that's really what they're doing. So we are going to fight this tooth and nail. Well, I tell you what, this is another good one. We'll put out the guide to the directions on how to fight the bill, and really the different information in there on how to sign up to fight the bill. Because if your voice doesn't get heard on this bill, they're going to pass it. And they may pass it anyways, because now it's reached the House, and you never want to depend on the House to be your saviors for these types of things.
I mean, the vote that went from the Senate was 19 to 15. You know, there were some Democrats that wouldn't sign off on it, but it was enough to push it into the House, which has a bigger majority than what the Senate has, and there's a good likelihood that this could very well pass. I have to believe, and based on some of the readings that I've looked into this and the ongoings of how this has been progressing through our legislature, the governor isn't completely sold on the bill itself and has some of it being watered down in terms of how some of this is going to be dealt with. Their argument is going, this is not a ban on weaponry. All they're saying is that they want people to be responsible. The issue that I have with this is the legislatures are looking at every single one of us as citizens, saying that we're stupid enough that we can't figure out how to actually exercise our Second Amendment right to be able to own and possess a firearm. Our Second Amendment provides us that right in terms of having the right to keep and bear arms. What this is doing is it's removing that right, and it's requiring us to have to go through several different stages just to be able to purchase that right in order for us to have something if we want to defend our homes, defend our own persons. The government is taking that away from us, or they're attempting to do so. The issue that I have here, much like you said, the fees. The governing body of all of this is going to be CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife. They are the ones that will establish the fees for the classes.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Did you hear that shit? These are the people that's going to be laying down the law and establishing the fees and the route. Are you serious? Oh, man, you know what? I ought to fucking go to Dun & Bradstreet right now, man. I just don't want to do it. It'd be nice if somebody else fucking did it for a change. It'd be nice if somebody else, you know what I'm saying, took some things I tried to teach them and then come back and show me what they learned. It'd be nice if one of you motherfuckers do it. One of y'all go to Dun & Bradstreet, search. All right? One of y'all go there, man, and see what you find. They're not going to give you the information up front. What they're going to do is once you get the hit for it, they're going to say, okay, if you want a little bit more information, give us your email address and we'll email you their number, right? Their actual DUNS number. right? And you'll get the email. You put your email address in there, they'll send you the email, be like, yeah, this they number and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they'll give you like their address and where it's registered to and all that other shit. They'll give you all of that. Somebody come back in comment section and tell me what the fuck the Don's number is. Because I ain't finna look it up. Colorado Parks and Wildlife, that's a corporation, man. God damn, this again, I get tired of repeating this shit. You got other motherfuckers with their own channel who tell you the same thing. No, they're just a corporation masquerading as a government. They got a mask on. You think they're the government, but they're not. You take the mask off and it's a fucking business. It's a corporation. I get tired of telling people this shit. It's no different than when they caught me out here in DuPage County Forest Preserve smoking a joint. I told that nigga to kiss my ass. I ain't paying no fucking tickets. You out of your mind. I'm not paying this shit. I sent that shit right back to their chief of police. I sent it right back to him. They sent me something else in the mail, and I addressed that person with certain information. Like I say, put their DUNS number and all that other shit, and I let them know what the fuck I was going to do to them if they continue to move forward. If they insisted on me paying that ticket, this is what I was going to do. I have not heard a fucking thing from them. And it's been close to 3 years. This summer, it'll be 3 years. I ain't heard shit from them. And we talking about DuPage County Forest Preserve.
They're the ones that will establish the fees for somebody entering your information into a system, specifically stated in this bill. So you're going to have several different tiers of fees that you're going to have to pay as a citizen in order to get your right back to be able to purchase a firearm. Like I said before, the problem on this, it has an expiration date. That is only for as long as you've paid for it, 5 years, and then you have to start all over again.
Well, and something to understand too, when they talk about watering down a bill, here's what happens. And I've had this happen before, where we got amendments put on bills to change them and make them watered down. But when they hit the body and on the floor of the House can strip those amendments away and go with the original bill. So that is not a guarantee that those will actually go through. And the sad part is once again, that is another way of doing another gun grab. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And as a sheriff, I would tell you, you need to go out and get involved with the NRA and then the Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Association. I think that anything you can do now to protect your livelihood, because if you're a firearms dealer, you're not going to have any more firearms.
Let me interject once again with that. I'm not saying that he's being malicious or whatever, but he is giving you incorrect information. And let me explain to you why. The NRA or any other of those other associations are considered fictions. They don't exist. They're not real. It's just like the corporations. That's the reason for why they're masquerading as a government, but instead they're really a corporation, because corporations aren't real. A governing body or government is put together by the people. The people are real. We have arms, we have legs, we have a head, we breathe, we cry, we get happy, we get angry. People are real. But fictions and persons and shit are not. And that's what the NRA is. The NRA is a person. It's a fiction. It's a legal person. Meaning it's not real. It's a corporation. Persons like that, names are in all capital letters. Hence, when you get your bills, your insurance bill come in the mail, and your light bill and all that other shit, your cell phone bill and shit, all that shit got your name in all capital letters. Well, that's the same thing with like the NRA and shit. It's a person. It's a fiction. It's a corporation. It's not real. It's not a natural person. You got two types of person. They spell the same way. You got the natural person, which is something we would consider to be a man or a woman, which is the reason for why they're trying to distort that. They're trying to tell you, oh, you got 50 different genders, or there's no such thing as a gender and all that. So they can continue to further lump the sentient being into their bullshit. That's one of the reasons why they pushing that non-binary, no gender shit. That's one of the reasons for why they're doing it. To further incorporate you. To further detach you from the sentient that you are. So when you're dealing with the NRA and you're dealing with all of these other organizations and shit, they're considered a legal fiction. They have no standing. This is the reason for why Tom DeVore, the lawyer here in Illinois, when they first put the gun ban in place, right? Tom DeVore They shut him down immediately. He went out and had 2,000 people that signed up under him that he was representing. Now, notice I said men and women. The natural person, the i.e. creator, the motherfucker that God created, that motherfucker. He went out and got 2,000 people that paid him $200 motherfucking dollars to represent him. Each person, each man or woman. They shut him down immediately. They did it politically too, where they had the politicians and shit just completely bump him the fuck off. And the lawyer that took the charge in the case after they got rid of Tom DeVore, they went there under the whole NRA and agency type motherfucking you digs. And they moved forward with it. The reason why they did Tom DeVore like that, because Tom DeVore would have won. His case came on behalf of the people and not some organization. So this is the reason for why this is incorrect information that he's giving you. This information is false. Now, whether or not if he's doing it like by way of some sort of malicious act, or I'm not getting into all that, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to appreciate the fact that they putting this shit out. Because again, they all Freemasons. They all Freemasons. You know what I'm saying? They have to tell you what they doing. Which is another reason why I ain't finna be on here fucking making 50 videos a day. They have to tell you what they doing, man. You know about the clean hands thing. We talked about it. In their thing, and it's not to say that I agree or that it's true or whatever. I'm not saying that. I think it's fucking stupid. But within their thing, they have to tell you what they're doing or what they're going to do. And if you do nothing, when the shit happens, their hands are clean. They have no blood on their hands. Now that's their thing. That's what they believe within their thing. So whether or not if he giving you this type of information under malicious intent or whatever, I'm not really going into all of that. I'm just here to let you know that what he telling you, that's not correct. The people are supposed to band together and say, nope, you got us fucked up. When you have to go through organizations and foundations and shit to represent you, it shows you're incompetent. That's something else they don't tell you. It shows that you are not capable of handling your own affairs. So thus for this corporation or this foundation or this attorney has to represent you. They have to represent you because you can't present yourself. That's a lack of incompetence. You're not competent is what I'm saying. And you also give them power of attorney. When you go into these courtrooms, they hold their allegiance to the court. This is the shit. This is the reason why the shit don't work out for you, like in a divorce. This is why it don't work out for the man, even though he had a lawyer. This is the reason for why dudes go get lawyers and they go into child support court and it don't work for them because they can't go in there and present themselves. So they get the lawyer to represent. You know, it's a represent, but it's represent. That's really what it is. RE means to do again. Present means to come forward, to be seen, to be heard, to present yourself. When you add RE in front of it, it has to be done again. And in their thing, it means that you can't do it. So you got to go get the lawyer. You got to go to these agencies and these foundations for help. That shows you're not competent. I've been talking about this shit for years, man. This is why they get so pissed off at me, because I'll go into their venue and present myself. I don't get attorneys. I don't do all that stupid shit because you just signed your rights away. When you get an attorney, when you get a lawyer or what you call an attorney, you make him power of attorney. What that means is you give him power over your atonement. You giving that control of your autonomy, you're giving that away to them. You're saying, well, I can't control my own autonomy. I need you to do it. And when you get into this whole lawyer shit and how they don't have a license, you have to get a license to be a lawyer. You can't, there ain't a lawyer in this motherfucking country that has a license. What they have is a bar card. And they'll all lie and say, oh, Lone Wolf don't know what he's talking about. That's bullshit. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're bullshit. There's not one fucking attorney in this country that has a law license. Not a one. They all have bar cards. It's a club. So again, this is why he's giving you incorrect information.
You sell, and those businesses are going to dry up. And actually, they know that. That's a push to destroy the gun industry in Colorado. It's been that way for 8 years. And you also have to think too, Sven, and this is what's interesting to me. We have one of the highest crime rates in the United States now. We went from the lowest crime rate to the highest crime rate, but now we want to disarm our actual citizens that are doing it right. And then we also want to identify them as criminals, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to be a criminal. I'm going to be a criminal. It just is the way it is, right? Because you're labeled that way if you have a firearm. So my thought is you have to fight it. There is no watering down. Fight this thing. And we'll just see where it goes from there.
Yeah. And this is just an addition to the two previous bills that really are prohibitive in terms of any sort of firearm activity in the state. This toppled with a 6.5% excise tax that goes into effect April 1st. That was approved and that was voted on last legislative session. Goes on top of the additional
a 10-cent stamp will take care of those taxes that they're talking about. A 10-cent stamp. Read the Stamp Act. Read and download the Stamp Act of 1863. I believe is what it is. The Stamp Act of 1863. Read and download that to your hard drive. They give you the fee schedule and everything. All that shit's supposed to be paid with postal stamps. Okay? Oh shit, it's another one I was just finna say. Shit, it just slipped my mind. Okay, you got the Stamp Act of 1863, and then you got it was just something else. It'll come back to me. But it's something else that you all need to tax stamp. Research tax stamps. So you got the Stamp Act of 1863, and then you got tax stamps. Research what a tax stamp is. The tax stamp is no more than a postal fucking stamp. To go to show you again how powerful the post office is, I'm not fit to get all that shit. I got videos on there. Go back and watch that shit. But to go to show you how the motherfucking the post office is like Lennox and motherfucking Belly. He the number one dun dada. That's how powerful the post office is. Or the Universal Postal Union, I should say, because it's bigger than the post office in America. Most people think that, the federal government control the post office and da. It's not true. The post office is more like a uniform conglomerate. Okay? Recognized by way of treaty. Meaning other countries had to agree to this shit. And it's like 170 something countries that's under the Universal Postal Union, which is who really controls it. They control the postal shit all over the world, including America. But you can pay taxes with a postal stamp. That's the reason for why you need the Stamp Act of 1863, because they give you the schedule, meaning how much money you supposed to owe or supposed to be paid or whatever. They tell you how many stamps you're supposed to put on there. I'm talking about postal stamps. But anyway.
Restrictions now placed on federally licensed firearms dealers within the state, which disallows them from performing any sort of transactions of firearms unless they purchase an actual dealer's license through the state itself, which is double what a normal FFL license costs. That has to be paid every 3 years.
And the reason for why you're allowed to do this with stamps is because stamps hold their value in gold. Some more shit they don't tell you. This is the reason for why the most powerful money order that you can get, motherfuckers get money orders to pay for shit. The most powerful money order you can get is from the post office. Most motherfuckers don't even know that the post office write money orders. But anyway.
And now, of course, the new CHP laws, which there is some differences between this most recently poorly written legislation that they're trying to enact in this new law in 003 that is in conflict with the CHP law. And I'm seeing that a lot between the different bills, that they're not all consistent with one another. They kind of bounce around. For example, for you to be able to get your eligibility card, you have to pass 90% on a written test in your basic firearms safety course. Whereas in the CHP, for you to be able to carry a weapon concealed, your written test only has to be 80%. They're putting a higher standard on the fact that you wanting to buy a gun than if you want to carry it concealed.
Well,
It's ignorance, and it's simply just not right.
Well, and here's the thing about this bill. They're trying to address too many things on the broad blanket of just this Firearm Act. And here's what I'm seeing with this.
Uh-oh, and there's another word, act. A-C-T. You see the word porn, right? Now, they're using the same language that the legislators and all of the fucktards who wrote that shit are using. That's what they're doing. They're just basically using the same word. The people who wrote that shit are the ones they're the ones who incorporate words like mandate and ordinance and policy and, act and bills. And they the ones who do that. So I'm not necessarily blaming them for that. But do you see the wordplay? Do you see the confusion? Because that's what it's designed to do. When they using all of those different words in the same sentence, in the same conversation, they're doing it to confuse you because those words mean something different. Right now, we're under the common law. That's the type of law that this nation was what they call founded upon, even though it's all bullshit. It's all our law. It's all our shit. We're the original people of this land. Everything that they're doing is a carbon copy of what we used to have, but they just perverted it. Okay? We're under the common law, which is also known as a republic. That's the reason why they keep talking about it's interfering with our democracy. It's like, bitch, it was never a democracy. What are you talking about? That's the complete opposite of a republic. Which is the reason for why they give you two parties you know of as a Democrat and a Republic, but in reality, they're one. You don't get two parties, you only get one. You got Democrat, you got Republic, you got liberal, you got conservative, you got left, right, up, down, all around. And in reality, it's just one. And that's their fucking cabal bullshit. Period. Amazing, man. I'm lost for words. This is simply amazing.
They're trying to tie it to mental health issues, to criminality. Well, neither of those two have anything to do with these firearm laws. We have a mental health crisis within this state that's not being taken care of because we're not funding it. Instead, we're funding this, we're funding immigration issues, we're funding...
Then not only that, have you ever seen any of those fucktards address mental illness? They always talk about the mental illness in this country or in different states and this, that, and the other. But have you ever had anybody, whether if it's law enforcement, politicians, or whoever, have you ever had these motherfuckers ever really actually address mental health issues? Like where they come from, how it happens, how it comes to be? Nobody's going to really talk about that. People like Jermaine Shoemaker, you know of him as Umar Johnson. He had a great ability to do it. He had a platform to do it. But what did he do? He used it as a mechanism to get in, and then he started stealing. And he showed his true colors as being a piece of shit rat bastard that he is. Because a lot of the things that Umar Johnson taught to you about ADHD and mental health within our little brothers and sisters, it was true. It was actually true. But again, like I said, he used that as a mechanism, as an avenue to get in to be like Al Sharpton, to get in to be like so many of these other niggas that don't nobody want to talk about, to be able to continue to take on the role that they're taking on and to continue to sell our people down the river. Because Jesse Jackson is only one of them, just like Umar Johnson is only one of them, but they're both one and the same. Umar Johnson is a fucking sellout, and so is Jesse Jackson.
All these other things that are precursors to what really need to be dealt with, which is the mental health side of things. And really what I found too is that all these bills, they try to blanket everyone at the same time. Yep. And it's sad because these are good law-abiding gun owners. And the other side, you're not going to change crime with this. Last year, they instituted having the box in the vehicle for firearms. All they're going to do is steal your box. I mean, it's one of the dumbest laws I've seen also. Is it because...
No, it's a dumb fucking law because here it is, you getting carjacked and your fucking banger is locked in a box in the fucking car with you that's being carjacked. I think that's probably the ultimate stupidity. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I don't know shit. Maybe I'm just a dumb nigga. Maybe. Or maybe not.
Those boxes are hard to disguise within a vehicle. So now, instead of me being able to hide it or do whatever I want because it's my own vehicle, I now have to put it in a locked storage case within a vehicle. Yep. That's nice, but rural Colorado's a little...
And motherfuckers they keep wondering why I keep saying, why y'all listen to these people? Why are you listening to these people? How on God's green earth do you have an election every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years, where you literally just going to the fucking polls to pick who you want to control you next? Like, y'all got some explaining to do, you fucking so-called voters. Y'all have some real goddamn explaining to do as to how is this shit even making any sense to you as the voter? How is it that we're going to continue to play this lesser of two evils game? Like, what is wrong with you motherfuckers, man? So I got to end it there because I can go off into a tangent with this type of shit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I'm going to just keep it the way it is, man. If y'all made it to the end of this video, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Like the video, share it with your peoples, man. Share it with anybody you know that's struggling, that needs some help, that don't realize they're not alone, that don't realize that you got other people that see what they see too. Share this with them, man. It's Original Lone Wolf, man. I'm gone.